Hey everybody, it's Audrey. I'm finally back. I took a little hiatus. Actually, I had gone to a crop and done a lot of pages and didn't do process videos with them, so I haven't uploaded very many videos lately, but I am back on schedule now and have a lot of videos coming up, so stay tuned. So today I am working with some cut files from the Just Next store, and this one is free this week for Valentine's Day. And this whole week. It's called, it's a free love file, and you can go to the Just Next store and type in free love as the coupon code and get it for free. And there are two different designs. This one has the word love with some little hearts, and the other one kind of has some little flowers and branches. So I've opened up the PNG and I have traced it, and I'm going to just use the heart one. And I'm actually going to kind of design my page here in Silhouette Studio, and I do this a lot when I work with cut files. So I drew a square that is the size of my photo, and I was debating on whether or not to use a 4x4 photo or a 3x3 photo, and it's really easy to just draw a square using the grid lines on the background there and draw your square to see what size photo works best for your page. And I decided to go with the 3x3 photo, and I at first was going to kind of overlap the word love over my photo, but then I noticed that the 3x3 square was kind of the same size as the O in the word love. So I thought maybe I will use my photo where the O goes in the word love. So I'm going to kind of leave that there for now. And I'm now looking for an alphabet set that's also from the Just Next store. It's called the Simple Set Alphabet, and it's a really kind of cool, fun, playful font. And I'm going to, I was trying to decide if I wanted that one or this one's called the Geometric Alpha, and I decided to go with this simple set. So again, I opened up the PNG, I'm going to trace it. Now what I'm doing here after I trace it, I'm going to click on the image and then hit Release Compound Path, and then that separates all the letters for me. However, any letter like the A or the O or the B's and D's and G's that have like a circle inside of them, you have to group the two pieces together. So I grouped the A together because it has the circle inside the A. Otherwise, you just get the outline of the A. So you'll see me with those letters that have circles in the middle. You have to group those together. So I'm going to just pick out the letters I need, and I copy and paste the letters. And I'm using my keyboard. I use my keyboard a lot to do shortcuts. Like I hit Control-C for copy and Control-V for paste. So that's why you don't actually see me doing copy and paste on the screen, because I'm using my keyboard to do it. So I just copy and paste the letters that I need, and I'm kind of grouping them here. And I'm copying them from the one file I have open to my actual print file, my design page. So this is the page I'm kind of designing on. And then the other page I have the alphabet on, and I'm just picking my letters from there. And again, I do this a lot when I design in Silhouette and I'm using cut files, because it really helps you see exactly how big things are going to be on the page and how they're going to fit. And again, it's easy just to draw the shape of your photo in there and put that in so you can scale things to the right size. So I'm just going to move these around a little bit and kind of play with the letters until they're arranged in a way that I like. And you can see that I frequently will click and drag like a whole group of things and highlight the whole group of things to work with them as a group so that I can move them all at once, like instead of moving each individual letter. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I went through and cut out those letters from about 10 different pattern papers. So I separated all those letters. I went back and separated all the letters, which I didn't show you on Silhouette, and I kind of put them in different areas on my mat, and I used 10 little pieces of scrap paper and cut them all out. So I am using the Little by Little collection from Chamel. It is so, so cute. I love the colors in this collection. Such a pretty color combo. And there are boyish papers, there are girlish papers, and so very, very versatile collection. Kind of cutesy, but there are some other softer elements and florals and geometric prints too. So again, very versatile. So I went with some gesso and I just went over this background paper. The background's a little busy. I love the black and white triangles, the black triangles in the white background, but I wanted my letters to stand out. The letters that I cut, I wanted them to stand out against the background, so I added a little bit of gesso just to kind of soften up the background a little bit. I wish I had cut my letters a little bit bigger, but I guess in the long run, at the end, I love how they look, so it turned out okay. So the first two mists I used were this Heidi Swap Color Shine in mustard and teal, and then I sprinkled on that black mist, and I should have waited for my gesso to dry completely because it wasn't. And it was a chalkboard glimmer mist, and it totally just spread all around the page. And when I bring my background paper back into the view, you'll see. And I was so mad that it spread like that, but oh well, it is what it is. So I used a template and cut my photo to size. Now, the O in the original cut file is more of an oval shape, and I cut my photo in a circle shape, so it's a little disproportionate, but it doesn't really bother me too much. I end up backing my photo with some pattern paper and then doing some stitch circles, and it helps take away the difference between the oval shape and the circular shape of my photo. My glue was clogged there, so I had to do a little surgery to get it unclogged, which includes me sticking a pin down the top and then squeezing it really hard until something comes out. So I squeezed it into a paper towel just to make sure I didn't get glue everywhere. So I had some pieces of red cardstock just laying around as scraps because I had been working on Valentine's projects with the kids, and so I'm like, oh, you know what? This red is like pretty much the exact same color red that's on some of the pieces of paper there. So I'm going to use that to back the hearts from the word love. And I've talked about this before in other videos and how I actually go through and back my cut files. I know some people like trace the shapes and then cut them out. I just put the glue on the back of my cut file and then glue it onto the paper. And then once it dries, well, even sometimes before it dries, I go ahead and just cut around it. So I don't cut before, I cut after. So I'm using my fine line bottle here with some Thermoweb mixed media glue. And by the way, of course, I strategically placed that letter V so that that blue and black heart would be at the bottom of the V. Okay, so I'm not going to show you me backing all of those letters, but that's basically what happens there. I decided to go with one pattern paper for the word love. I was going to use 3 different pattern papers, but I couldn't decide which one to use, and this one had all the colors, so I thought I would go for it. My background paper was curling a little bit, it was getting a little warped, so I just took some blue painter's tape and I stuck it on the background just to kind of hold my paper in place and to kind of make it not curl as much. And I actually do the same thing when I'm photographing my layouts. I take the blue painter's tape and I will tape my layout onto a piece of white craft foam board and then photograph my layout that way. And I always photograph on white backgrounds. But anyway, I use the blue tape for that. Okay, so I'm fiddling around again with these letters, and I couldn't remember. Of course, I had them all set up initially, and then I wiped them all off, and then I couldn't remember, I have 2 A's, and I couldn't remember which pattern paper, which A I had where, but whatever, it's fine. And I'm going to leave those there for now. And I'm going to start playing with this other cut file and finding some other things to add to my page. That little bear sticker, when I saw it, that little bear shape is on a couple of the pattern papers and some of the other elements. It's on one of the die cuts too. And I think in one of the die cuts, the bear is holding a little heart in his hand. So I thought it would be cute to cut the bear out and kind of cut around his arms and tuck him behind the letter V to kind of make him look like he's poking out from the letter V. So that's what I did. I just used my scissors and cut some lines underneath his arms and stuck them there. So here's where I'm going to back my photo with some pattern paper in that oval shape to kind of make up for the difference in the shapes there. So this is an awkward kind of circle, but you can see how adding that piece of pattern paper in the oval shape kind of helps take away the perfect circle shape of the photo. And it fits much better with the shape of the O from the cut file. So a little bit about this page. I was going through trying to find a photo to use with this word love, and love is not a word that first comes to mind when I think of how my children interact with each other. Fighting is more what comes to mind when I think about my kids playing with each other. So here's a rare moment where, you know, they had been playing and they were actually playing okay, and Charlotte says, "Kyler, come sit next to me in this chair with me." And, you know, other times at dinner, they're sitting across the table and it's, "She's looking at me," or, you know, "Why does she have to sit so close?" And I can't physically get them further apart and have them be at the same table. But anyway, so they have this crazy kind of relationship, this love-hate relationship, I call it. So I thought Crazy Little Thing Called Love was a good title for that. All right, back to my page. Underneath the E of the word love there, I had this splatter that I had made with that black mist that kind of smeared. And you can see the black mist like up in the top left, how it just kind of spread and didn't make nice little droplets. Well, it had done the same thing underneath the letter E over there. So I just pulled out one of the hearts. This aqua colored heart came from the die cut pack, the ephemera pack from this collection. So I just put it over there to cover up that splatter. And the heart's cute there. I mean, you can't really tell it's, I mean, I guess you can infer it's a heart shape, but anyway, that helped cover that up. So I picked out a couple other little embellishments, some feathers, a camera. I fussy cut out some hearts from pattern paper. And then I thought I was going to take these triangles and add them to kind of highlight the words. And I didn't like how the triangles looked. And then I thought, hey, maybe I should cut out some little hearts. So I used the point of the triangle to be the point of the heart. And I just cut out like 2 lobes on the top. And they might make perfect little heart shapes. So I'm going to pick out some colors that I want to kind of go along with the other colors on my page and cut some hearts out of those and scatter those along amongst my letters up there at the top. I love seeing people do pages with big titles and long titles with a lot of words, and then kind of fill up the whole page with the titles. I see a lot of scrappers doing that, and I haven't done one like that, really. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that with these cut files. I'm taking some of these puffy stickers and just kind of deciding where to put those. There's a lot of cute little animals on this in this collection. So there's a little raccoon and a little fox and some owls and the bear and a little bunny, I think, somewhere in there. And I'm just going to put a couple of those down in my title. And I really don't do too much else as far as embellishing. What you see here pretty much is what the design is going to end up being. I used some scrap pieces of white cardstock to complete the letter O. It was actually the pieces that made the inside of the original O, and I just cut the little strips into smaller pieces to complete the circle around the letter O in the word love. Okay, so I glued all that down. I'm going to stick that to the side. When I had the word love on the page with the title, I noticed that my photo wasn't standing out very well to me, because, you know, there's a lot of busy stuff going on there with the title and all these colors and patterns and little bits. So I put the word back on there, and I'm going to kind of trace gently around the edge with my pencil because I want to do some stitching lines around that circle. So I'm going to go stitch with some black thread, and that's what I did. Now I'm erasing my pencil line, and that's going to help the photo stand out a lot compared to the other letters. I have some foam squares here, some 3D foam squares from ThermoWeb, and I'm just going to place those behind my letters here and tear off all those little papers. I don't know if you use little foam squares like this, but I always find these little papers everywhere that get stuck, and I'll find them all over the house. Like they must just stick to me after I pull them off. So that is pretty much the page, and a couple other things I add. I noticed again that the title with all the busy patterns and stuff and having a pattern background wasn't sticking off as much as I wanted it to. So I'm going to go back through and actually use a black pen and outline my title letters with a black pen. Here's a little word of warning. And I'm not sure if other people have this problem, and I would love to hear if you do. If you use gesso on a background and try to go over it with a pen, sometimes your pen picks up the gesso, even if it's dry, because it leaves like this gritty texture. You can kind of see the grit there in that close-up. But anyway, my pen picked up some of the paint, and then, of course, halfway through, I had to switch pens. So anyway, here's my finished page. I added some journaling and some lines down at the bottom, and that's about it. So thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed, and I will have more videos up in the next week or so. So stay tuned. Thanks. See you soon. Bye.